Hi and welcome to JohnRayner.tv. In this episode, let's look at part three of the series, How to Prepare for World-Class Public Speeches and Presentations. How to prepare for world-class public speeches and presentations. In the first video, we just gave a general introduction or an overview. In the second video, we looked at knowing your audience and how to target the bullseye and make sure that you put yourself in the minds and the hearts of the audience to best communicate in the most confident, powerful, and persuasive fashion. And everything that we discuss in this series of videos is actually based on my book that's titled Confident, Powerful and Persuasive Public Speaking, which you can download for free at johnrayner.tv. But in this video, video 3, we're going to look at how to create a focused message. How to create a focused message or a conclusion. Now, in this planning tool, which by the way we've used with thousands and thousands of people in training successfully, and multiple people, countless people have used it to be far more confident, be far more focused, be far more engaging and persuasive in the way that they get their messages across. And even though you see 10 boxes in this particular system or formula or methodology, like any good project, we always start with the end in mind. So we start by planning from the bottom of the diagram, but when you're delivering your message, when you're speaking your message, obviously you would start at the top and work your way through the boxes, which I'll explain in this series of videos. But to make the focus message or the conclusion quick, look, it's so important. The Harvard Business University did some research. This is going back a number of years ago, and they evaluated the communication or the public speaking effectiveness of 200 CEOs. 200 CEOs. Now, they were not being evaluated on can they speak, because, as I said in a previous video, the majority of humanity has the innate God-given capability of doing so. But it's far more difficult to be able to present a message in a clear, focused, audience-centric manner, just to get your 1, 2, 3, maybe a few more points across, and then walk away, but more importantly, deliver a focused message. Now, here's the key. Whilst many people speak at conferences, I've seen this for 2 decades now. Whilst many people speak at conferences and they'll give lots of information for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour or longer, it's surprising to me how many people just close their public speech, or they close their presentation almost like, well, I've finished now, are there any questions? But there's no knockout punch. So the focus message to me, or the conclusion in your planning, in your preparation, this is your knockout punch. This is when you've been jabbing and right hook, and you've been, working with your audience. Maybe a bad analogy, but you get the picture. This is right at the end where ultimately you give the knockout punch in your message, and you conclude, and you give that in a gift form and nicely wrapped with a bow on it. And it's very simple. There are only 2 questions you have to ask yourself to be able to create a powerful, persuasive, focused message. The first question is, what exactly do you want your audience to think or do? Call to action. What exactly do you want your audience to think or do as a result, as a conclusion of your public speech or presentation? Once you've established that, and remember, everything that we think about and everything that we say is based on the audience reconnaissance and better understanding the audience, which is in a previous video. Number 1, what do you want your audience to think or do as a result of your communication? And number 2, we need to be able to verbalize or write what is the relevance or the benefit to the audience regarding the think or the do. So number 1, what do you want them to think or do? Number 2, what is the overriding relevance and benefit to your audience? If we are unable to deliver that, if we're unable to drive that message home or give that knockout punch, then let me give you the outcome of the Harvard Business University evaluation of 200 CEOs. They deemed 93% of the 200 CEOs that they evaluated to have a poor conclusion or a poor finish or a poor outcome. In other words, these CEOs talked and talked and talked, but were unable to knock out punch or deliver a nicely packaged gift, nicely wrapped in a bow, and hand it to the audience right at the end, based on what do you want them to think or do, and what's the relevance or the benefit. And a good example, look, I just wrote something down before recording this video. A good example is we could be talking about the topic of health. And maybe and this is just an example, maybe you're presenting a vegan lifestyle. Now, many people would talk a lot and give the science and the biology of the vegan lifestyle, but it'd be far more powerful and persuasive to finish right at the end by pausing, asking if there are any final questions, and then saying something like this: look, to focus and conclude my message, or to wrap up this communication, or to finalize this conversation, I'd like to leave you with this thought. I challenge you to start a vegan lifestyle today. I challenge you to start a vegan lifestyle today, because the benefits can include perpetual detoxification, clearer thinking, weight loss, restoration of cells, and ultimately a stronger and longer life. There's an idea of a focused message, far better than just saying something like vegan, I encourage you to think about a vegan lifestyle, or are there any questions at the end? Again, I repeat, I challenge you to start a vegan lifestyle today, because the benefits are numerous, which include perpetual detoxification, clearer thinking, weight loss, restoration of cells, and a stronger and longer life. Look, this is just an example. I just wrote it down before this video. If I was doing this in a conference setting or in a presentation, obviously I'd have this in memory so that I could deliver it in a very focused and powerful and persuasive manner. But I hope this helps on how to prepare a focused message or a knockout punch at the end of your public speech or presentation. See you on the next episode of JohnRayner.tv. Ciao.